Hi everybody, this is Time Travel Beard. I want to give just a quick update of where the shader is and show off some of the settings and some of the bugs, because I'm probably not going to do any big work on it for a little bit. Just do some little stuff. As you can see, it does have the distant horizons compatibility. I'm going to turn that off for most of the video because it does introduce some shadow glitches like you see here that I just have not fixed yet. They can be gotten around by going to the shadow map and turning off distortion, but if you do that without increasing this to something ungodly, I'm going to repeat myself in case it paused recording. The shadows are going to get really pixelated if you do that, so it's not really a good option. I need to do a new shadow distortion function. I've got one, I just haven't put it in yet, and I'll do that at a later time. I mean, I'm kind of debating if I want to keep it on or off now because it looks so good seeing the stuff way out there. I'll leave it on. Just forgive the shadow wonkiness, I guess. Like, watch, if I turn it off, you'll see that it's just not doing it. It's an easy fix. Like, there's two easy fixes. One is limit the shadow distance. The other one is, like I said, do a new distort function or put cascaded shadows. There's other developers who are working on distant horizons compatibility. One of them, Noel, is very technical and very good at stuff and has offered to let his cascaded shadow map be used by people. So that might be an option I could put in at 1.2. Yeah, I'm gonna turn it on. You just forgive the bad shadows. I love that distant look. Okay, so I'm gonna show just some of the effects and some of the presets. I might end up turning that off because it's gonna bug me having those bad shadows. If we go through, well, let's see, the two main things that are kind of broken looking to most people, I would think, would be that I haven't really worked out a perfect way for translucence yet. So here you can see I've got it doing like a dither. There are options to not do that. If you go in here to translucency mode, if you go to like anything other than 2, it's going to just render them translucent. But you can see with this one, it's got glitches where the translucents have sky behind them, just because I haven't kind of finished that yet. But what this mode does is it retains reflections and everything on glass, which is the main thing that's kind of making me hold off, is I want to have all the light bouncing and everything work on everything. And with doing translucent stuff, I either have to double the amount of data I'm saving, or I've got to do some other kind of workaround stuff with it. Blooms can all be turned off too. They're kind of high and bad right here. Water is the second thing that probably most people might have an issue with. On this translucent mode, they work and they do catch some reflections. The reflections are broken right now still. I need to put in more accurate reflection code, and I just haven't yet. If we switch over to the dither, I'll show what that looks like with the water. It's kind of a really old school look, having that little translucency dither. You might like that, you might not. If you do, cool. If you don't, the other option is there. But this option kind of catches more of the look. Getting kind of foamy. I'm going to limit the foam to just oceans. I have not done that yet. And like I said, the reflections are just not great. They were the wonky scattered reflections I was using for speed. So they just don't line up good. And they've got the broken spot. There's also still the option for the water from that demo that some people kind of liked. That's this pearl water here. If we turn that on. And I saved it so that I can still reference it for other stuff. You'll probably see if I switch back to the just the regular kind of translucent mode. See, it's not catching as much light stuff. So that's kind of what I'm still working on, is trying to make something that does this kind of standard translucency work with all the effects. So the dither is always going to stay around as an option, because I think it's kind of cool, and it's a good reference for me. Oops. Water FO is how reflective it is. If you turn this up really high, it's going to look more metallic, even without the pearl water. Caustics, I put a few in. I put a video the other day kind of testing them. Most of them aren't good. This default one is one I didn't show yet. I think it's pretty good. And the water fog is adjustable with the colors and all that too. You can get rid of it or change it if you want to see more underwater. Okay, I think that's everything but water and glass. So those are some of the main bugs. Distant horizon shadows are a bug. Another bug I've still got is some items are rendering translucent in your hand, kind of the way that glass was. I just haven't fixed that yet. That might not be a problem on low. It is on the higher settings with the pathtracing, because it does a whole different lighting engine. We also got a bug where the stars are showing up in half the sky, not the other half. That can probably, like, I'll fix it later on, but you can also probably just turn them off. And, yeah, you can just turn them off, and then they won't be a problem until I fix it. So the options are there. As a choice, I'm pretty much going to leave all kinds of debug type options and just kind of nest them into like advanced option settings so people can have those things and change them and break stuff if they want to. Let's see, I'm gonna bring up a rainstorm to see if we can get some of the rainbows. And this where it speeds in for a storm. I'll take that out eventually. Right now it's tied to a timer in a funny way and I just haven't unstuck it yet. And how brightly things glow, of course, that's an option too. I'll show that in a minute when I get to one of the presets and options for like the really high path trace lighting. That's pretty though, isn't it? I really like what I've done with these volumetrics. While we're waiting to see if a rainbow shows up, because one probably should around this time of day when it's raining. To make one of the big performance things you can do, a lot of them are here in quick performance, related to the sky, we've got a quick clouds option, which is kind of broken, but it attempts to give you like double FPS related to sky stuff. And it looks like it's trying to bring a rainbow in too. Another quick option for performance, because this is a little busted, is to lower the background resolution. That will also about double FPS, but right now it gives these little outlines and stuff that are way far in the background. And it will introduce some more noise, but some people might like it. And it's definitely a way to speed up. One of the other quick ways to speed up, regardless of what setting you're on in quick performance, is to change path tracing resolution. In most cases, this is on 2. If you put that to 1, it is doing like 4 times as many rays through the scene, and it's doing millions, and it's gonna lag. Yeah, there we go, getting a rainbow. And it's kind of tinted by the sunlight, because I mean that's the light that's available. And everything has like a PBR type stuff, so as it's getting wet, you can see like The stone is shinier and everything. To show the difference real quick about like that. If we go to cook an egg, it should do full resolution. As you can see, there's less pixelatedness with stuff, but everything's wet, so it's going to look noisy. Just because you get that kind of sparkle. Okay, so this looks a little glum. It did just rain, but one of the ways to easily fix that, let's get to something less devastating to the GPU, is PBR lighting is all the lighting stuff. If we go to sunshine, we can just up the sun brightness. 5 is probably way too bright. Let's see. 2 is the value I'm using right now. Anything higher is going to make things brighter and give you more vibrant color. Another thing that adds vibrancy is when there's more light bounces, because everything kind of saturates within itself. Everything's still kind of wet, so it's a little bit janky. And again, those shadows are a distant horizons issue I haven't worked out. And it looks like it's also giving me a little bit of problems there just by being on. I'll fix that stuff later. Yeah, that's gonna bug me. I'm gonna just turn it off. Okay, so let's walk through some of the presets, and these presets aren't perfect yet. If you download the shader, please use one of the configurations I've got with it, and then from there change the presets, because I don't change everything. I haven't made defaults yet that shouldn't be adjusted. So low, this is running the quick clouds, and it probably renders glass. Is that dithered? Yeah, that's dithered. It might render it okay even without the dithering. Let's see. It might not. Actually, it does. It's just got no clouds behind it. The 2 low settings use a whole different rendering engine. There we go. I want to see that stuff. I need to fix those shadows. That's going to be my first priority probably when I get back into this, because I really want to see that view. So low, let's take a peek. My computer's been on for a while, so it might not give us the best frames. 59, I might have it locked. So we'll compare performance between settings. So here we're getting 164, and that's with distant horizons. And this is what it looks like. There's no bounce lighting. Let's see if this makes a difference. Well, it does when looking up. There's no bounce lighting, but there's like a little bit of a PBR to it. And it's just a good... It still looks as close as possible. Medium, if I remember correctly, is doing 2 bounce lights, and it's doing the soft shadows and everything. It's still got the quick clouds going on. And the lighting is doing kind of a really low accuracy reflections. So on some stuff you will get kind of like ghosting and stuff. I think high switches over to not using the quick clouds, so it should be better looking atmospherics, especially stuff that's like level with you. I'm kind of trying to hybridize the two techniques to make something that works better. It just takes experimenting. And it looks like high is running the sky at a lower resolution, so you do get those little outlines way out in the distance. Ultra, I think, is just a broken preset. Cinematic is pretty much cooking half resolution on the bounce lighting. And still eats up more FPS. I actually kind of want to look at a waterfall to show you a waterfall, because I saw one in playing the other day and it looked really cool with the dithered light. Just the way the limited reflections on it looked. Just got that perturbate, like it's perturbed where it's got like ripples. And the cooking egg is pretty much the I want to take screenshots version. And at nighttime you can see you can get some really cool lighting with it. We can actually boost this even higher. I'll do a config for it. And when we boost it higher, we can get like really good handheld lights. You can see this still has some glitchiness to it, but if we go in, and let's see, I'm going to go to quick performance, I'm going to turn down the path tracing resolution, and then I'm going to go to PBR lighting, light simulation, performance. I'm going to turn off the kill switch. I'm going to try to default that off. If your screen flashes, turn this to 0. What it does is it turns off a lot of the effects if your FPS gets too low. If we go to ray number and ray number H and up these, it's going to drastically increase the amount of light scattering through the scene. And that should create a very realistic thing. We can also boost the brightness of glowing items. Lighting, glowing stuff. And make sure this default lighting is real low. This is going to look stupid. I'm going to have to turn down bloom probably. And see, now we get a very strong lighting based off of all the dynamic stuff in the scene. It'd be really good for like horror presets or caving. I still need to... Oh, he's sleeping. I still need to... Let's see. Yeah, if you put glowing stuff that bright, I would probably turn the bloom down. And if you wanted this not to look as like super dynamic, turning up the Minecraft torch value gives you more of the vanilla lighting from the torches, so they still light up what's around them, but it kind of eats up some of the dynamicness that you get, all this little stuff. And it can look really cool when you've got like a campfire. See, that's what that, and you can see the vanilla lighting kind of eats up some of it. But if you want that super dynamic look, turn this down. I wouldn't do 0, because then if it's off screen, you're gonna just not get any light, because this is still just screen space right now. I'm gonna do off screen stuff, but that's later. Do I have that at 100? I think I did. It's just a weak thing. One of the other things that people probably would want to change pretty quickly is these sunset colors and sunrise colors right now are very vibrant, and they last a little bit too long. I'm going to make them take less time and put a slider for that. Right now there's the sunrise slider. You can change how much of that color is applied. But if you turn that down, you do get like kind of a quick flash right where it switches from night to day, that I just haven't quite fixed yet. But it lets you get these nice pinks. So I'm going to kind of blend that together to work better at some point. But yeah, turning up everything like super high like this is probably only good if you want to do like some spooky cave stuff. I wouldn't recommend doing it normally. I mean, this might be playable, but like it's kind of laggy. Like it's real bad FPS. And some of those things are not going to reset. With performance profiles. So anytime you really jack it up, you should probably reset or load one of the configurations. Yeah, just on like high. You see, it's got some jank that's gonna be there because it's trying to run things better. I'm gonna blur those better too. And there are options if you wanted to do stuff like that, but they're not good yet. But you can have this resolution low. You can also like dither it. The dithering is all kind of crap. You can also downscale it to kind of blend it. But it's all kind of crappy. But there's options, and you might through that end up getting an effect you like. Someone said they liked the noise that some of the stuff has. So like doing stuff at a low resolution, adding dither, all that is gonna give you more of that type of old school look. I really need to fix those shadows because I hate the way that breaks stuff in Distant Horizons. Because even on like a high setting, you still get some of this lighting like that. And where you get reflections have those little kind of broken lines. The quickest way to fix that, until I fix all the reflection code, is light simulation performance refiner steps. And if you put that up, it's gonna get a much better connection on everything, as you can see. I might need to just default that up higher too. I think that's about it. Oh, let's see what the actual FPS was on the other settings. I didn't do that. So we were getting like 100. This is 101 on high. Ultra, like I said, is probably broken. Cinematic base is down to 33 pretty quick. And Cook and Egg wings is to 23. But all this is stuff that you can, like I said, you can adjust it. Just changing the path tracing resolution is the difference between Cook and Egg and Cinematic, and that gives you an extra 50%. There's a medium is running at 95. Low is 142. And this is with a heavy resource pack, but on a 4090. If we take off the resource pack, that's what we're getting. And there's still the option to switch the sky and stuff too. I forgot to do that. I don't know if I broke this. Let's find out. Yeah, it looks like I broke the other Dreamy Sky, so I'm gonna have to fix that. It exists in one of the other versions that's on here, just not this one, I guess. Alright, cool. Well, that's the video. If anybody wants this, it's still on my Patreon. I need to put a texture pack back on. This will still be on my Patreon, at least until I feel like it's fully ready. But it's looking like that might take a little longer than I originally thought. But if anybody wants it, it'll be there. Yeah, I'm going to work on things like adjusting like HDR values and everything. I've got some code in to start doing auto exposure and depth of field. I just didn't really implement it good yet. Oh, look at these little pockets of flowers. And I still need to add actually like waviness on like grass and tree leaves. There's just a bunch of stuff I haven't done yet. But like I said, this is where the shaders right now, and it's probably where it's going to be for a week or two, aside from just small fixes, because I just need to take a little bit of time off from it to do some other stuff in my life. But if anyone's interested in it, grab it. These are the bugs, these are the features, those are the settings. And as much as it's not like perfect yet, like I think it's pretty cool. And I'm open to feature requests and suggestions and feedback on here or on Discord. And I hope you all have a good day. I'll talk to you soon.